Well, good day. It's the 25th of August, 2021. Haven't done a video in a while. I'm in Illinois right now, and was traveling, and then was also doing going through pre-employment myself for a job. So first thing I want to do is congratulate Pete. You know who you are. You got hired by the DEA. Congratulations. That is really great, and thank you for the kind words. My videos just had a very small part to do with getting you ready for the academy or whatever. I'm so happy to hear that. I've got a short clip. It's put on by the United States Marshal in Utah. And those of you who are going into federal law enforcement, traditionally we worked international cases, interstate cases. That's all the federal government can do. That's why you have the federal government. State and locals handle violent criminals, local violent criminals, such as murder, rape, assault, just career criminals who stay in the local area. But this is a marshal in Utah. Now Utah is not known as we'll see, you just put in parentheses, or in quotation marks, a progressive state. Now watch what he says. He says, what we're doing is we are arresting state and local criminals, putting federal charges on them so that they go to jail. Think about that for a second. Why do you have to go after violent state and local criminals with federal charges? Why are the states not locking them up? And if this is a problem in Utah, it's a real big problem here in Chicago. It's a big problem in many major cities right now because they have prosecutors who are, I would say, for ideological reasons, opposed to incarceration. They think it's a bad thing. And I would agree, I would not want to incarcerate people if we didn't have to do it. But sometimes it's necessary to protect this society. So take a look at this and then let me know what you think.
And they know it because they're set free weeks after arrest. ABC4's Jason Wynn shows us why the issue is becoming dire.
The U.S. Marshals lead a task force of agents and officers who go after the worst criminals in our state.
We're talking about people who have committed crimes of violence, crimes against children, over and over and over again.
U.S. Marshal Matthew Harris says these types of criminals are let out of jail within a month or two of their arrest.
Every detective, every cop in this state knows that the state criminal justice system is inadequate. And what do? Is they take those cases and they go to the U.S. Attorney's Office and they try to get those cases prosecuted fairly.
He says the criminals are becoming even more dangerous by stealing firearms from homes and vehicles that are not secured.
And we've seen a significant increase in the amount of weapons that we're recovering off of these violent criminals.
While looking at the federal statistics in 2021, we found 33 violent criminals arrested for probation violations and 20 found in possession of a firearm. A third of the cases his team works on are with adult parole and probation.
The burden of the criminal justice system shouldn't be placed on the shoulders of AP&P. AP&P has to deal with the fallout of a failed criminal justice system. There's no penalty, right? And they know, the bad guys know that.
And there's another issue rising, a lack of bed space in prisons.
A lot of people say, well, you can't arrest your way out of this problem. No, we can't. But what we need to do is remove those people that shouldn't be in jail, who are there for addictions and small drug uses, and ensure that violent career criminals get the maximum penalty. And we're not doing that, and they're not doing it on the state side.
Are you concerned that an officer may lose their life dealing with these criminals?
Every day.
As lawmakers look to issue audits on AP&P, officers we spoke to say they should look at changing state laws that would keep this type of violent criminal behind bars where they belong. I'm Jason Wynn, ABC4 News.
Okay, so that's about it. I think it, pretty well encapsulizes what you're going to be seeing for the next several years. If you look at the DOJ, the Department of Justice strategy, puts a lot of emphasis on ATF. Doesn't hire new agents, but puts a lot of emphasis on them forming task forces to go after, they say it's gun crime, but really these are just career criminals who state and local, like in Chicago, for instance, they just keep letting them out. The jail's empty, or it's much emptier than it was years ago. And that is, again, because the attitude of the prosecutor and the mayor is that, people really don't need to be incarcerated. The chief of police says incarcerate them, but they're letting them out, and of course they do what criminals do. They act up. The murder rate, just the terrible, shootings at children, just really horrific things. And one thing again, they fear. Criminals fear federal court. Why do they fear federal court? There's no parole. There's mandatory minimums. And by the time the federal government gets you, unlike the state and locals, you're buried. It's not just probable cause. They know they have enough to convict you. So again, federal law enforcement's going to be playing a very important role in the next several years in trying to regain control of the violence that's plaguing the inner cities. Please keep sending me your resumes. I will look at them and comment on them. It's a free service. You have my email, fleckfuture@gmail.com. And I hope you're all doing well. I'll be doing more of these once I'm not moving around as much, and once I'm finished interviewing. It's hard to interview. I know what you guys are going through. I hadn't been interviewed since 1984, and now I've gone through first and second interviews, and it's nerve-wracking to be sitting in the interviewee chair. Okay, so I will admit to that. Usually I was the interviewer in DEA or for the church. Now I'm the interviewee. But anyway, I hope you're all having a great day. I wish you well, and God bless.